Welcome everybody to episode 11 of the ForbiddenCast. I hope everybody is having an excellent Friday. I know I probably will be because I get to see my good buddy Lucas Jakes today. He is coming down from North Bay to here to swap out a guitar that I currently have in my possession that is his. He lent me a Mexican Fender guitar. It's a cream colored guitar with gold hardware, a rosewood fretboard, and a really cool scratch plate. And it's a really, really nice guitar. It's all single coil, so it's a SSS single coil, all just single coils for anybody who doesn't know what SSS means. But he's coming to swap that out with another Fender guitar that I'm not really going to give too much information on because I know it's a really cool, almost kind of rare Fender that he owns, and I'm going to I might even do a little bit of review on it. But he's going to swap those out because he needs his Mexican Fender Stratocaster back. So, and he was like, well, I got a ton of Fender Strats and you don't have one, so I can just swap one out with you if that works for you. So, and I was just like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's your shit. So I mean, I'm not gonna say no, obviously. But yeah, no, I'm really excited to try out that other guitar that he's bringing down to me, and it'll be really nice to see him. Yeah, so I'm excited for that. I mean, obviously, for people who are, listening to this and are like, well, what about COVID? Well, to be fair, yes, obviously there is that, but right now, at the moment, I don't think there's many. I mean, obviously, there's precautions in saying like, oh, I mean, you shouldn't, be traveling or whatnot, but I don't think there's really much for like curfews or anything like that. I don't think there's any more curfews in Quebec right now or anything, so I have no idea. I don't keep up with any of that stuff because it drives me insane. But yeah, and for the most part, I mean, like, I work with the same crew nearly every night on overnights, and I have zero interaction with customers. I mean, not to say that, people are not coming in and sneezing and coughing and touching products that I will eventually end up touching, but I feel like I'm much safer at being on overnights. And plus, I mean, just mentally too, I feel. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that because I do. I think the lack of sun and light and the messed up sleep schedule is taking a little bit of a toll on me. I don't know if I sound a little more somber than the past few episodes, but I think it's kind of this overnight stuff is kind of kicking me in the ass a little bit, and it's yeah, it's just progressively getting a little bit tougher. And obviously, I've only been doing it for like maybe almost a month now, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna tough it out. Hopefully, at least for a year, and then I can, move on to other things. Because yeah, I honestly don't feel like anyone should do overnight work for longer than a year. Because I mean, for me, anyways, one thing that I've noticed thus far is that like it's I don't know if it is the lack of sleep or the lack of sunlight or whatever, but like yeah, it's definitely just pushed me into this like really unmotivated kind of mood and mindset of like, I go to work, I slave all night, and then I come home, I have something quick to eat, and I go to bed. Well, force myself to fall asleep because it's really weird. Because I don't know if anybody has ever tried to like pull an all-nighter or something like that, but like, if you're awake from like 8 o'clock at night and you stay up all night long, and then whenever you hit that peak wherever the sun is rising and then has like risen, and it's like 8 in the morning at this point, like it's really weird because your mind and your body kind of just like feel like it hits the second wind, or like this reset button, and you just feel awake again. So like you can feel exhausted, from like 4 to like 6 in the morning, and then as soon as you hit, like, you get that sunlight, like, you just feel recharged, even though you actually aren't. You just feel like you are, and you're just like, oh, okay, I can keep going. But in reality, like, no, you shouldn't be. It's just your brain and your body, playing a trick on you, because you're actually exhausted right now, but it's just the sunlight is just making you feel awake. So yeah, I don't know if it's just that is super hard for me to get accustomed to. I mean, obviously, over time, I'm sure gonna pan out, but yeah, it's just, yeah, super unmotivated to do anything, because I come home exhausted, but still feeling like somehow awake, and then I force myself to go to bed, and then I'm sleeping during the day, so it's like it's always warmer during the day than it is at nighttime, because the sun is out and everything. So it's like I have a horrible time sleeping in the heat. So yeah, it's just it's not super fun to say the least. But yeah, it's definitely challenging. But I don't know. I think it's the pay raise, and hopefully the advancement that I can climb up the corporate ladder to just keep making money until I can so I can keep saving up money to get to a point where I can do what I actually like. It's just it would be nice to eventually be back on days. I definitely, going into this whole overnight thing, I don't think I even wanted to do this forever, because it's like, yeah, it's just kicks the shit out of me, and it's not great. And I don't like feeling unmotivated, because like I think almost all of this week thus far, it's already Thursday today. Like, I don't even think I even picked up a guitar once this week, which is super bad and horrible. But it's just been so just drained and tired and worn out from working, and then the lack of sleep and everything like that. It's just, yeah. But with all that said, one exciting piece of information that I have, well, I mean, not really for you guys, but for me, it's fun. I did order myself a new guitar pedal. It's a overdrive pedal by a company called Tone City. And Tone City, if anyone hasn't heard of them, they are I don't know where they're originated from. Yeah, no, I don't even want to assume to know where they're from, but they are a pretty small company. I'm sure they have, like, quite a bit of distributors now. I know Amazon sells them, and I got my pedal off of Best Buy, so I mean, like, I think their name's getting held up pretty okay, but they're really affordable pedals, and they're really good quality, and they sound great, and yeah, they're just really, really nice pedals. And they're really nice and small and compact, so it's like if you got a pedal board, you can fit like almost the entire range of their pedal line on your pedal board, and you can have like a pedal of every kind. I think that's the great thing about it too, is that they have a pedal that covers almost every single thing. Excuse me. But yeah, so I got a overdrive pedal. They have a few other overdrive pedals, but I got the Dry Martini pedal, and that pedal is based off of the circuit of the Full Tone OCD pedal. And I have actually played a Full Tone OCD before. Back in high school, my music teacher had that pedal on his board, and I remember going to reach for that thing a lot whenever doing like the school band shows and like in music class stuff. It's a really, really good pedal, and I like it a lot. So I'm excited to get my Dry Martini pedal, because the reason why I got that is because whenever I get into recording for the Celestial Quest album, what I want to do is, because I have 3 amps. I have my Marshall MG15 HCFX head, which is just a solid state head, that I want to pair up with a overdrive pedal. I think probably my soul food pedal, because I love the sound of those two together. I have my PV 6505 mini head. Is it a 6505? Yes, it's a 6505 mini head. That one there, which I really like pairing up with the Ibanez Tube Screamer. I got the Ibanez Tube Screamer Mini, so those two there sound really good. And then I also have a orange micro dark that I have just recently found out that I can get good tones out of. I really have a love-hate relationship with that amp, because it's so strange, because I remember watching a ton of videos on it before I actually got the amp itself as a Christmas gift from my parents, because I remember asking for it, and they were very generous and got it for me. But yeah, I remember watching a ton of videos and hearing all these people doing demos and showing it off and stuff like that, and it just getting these super crunchy, just gnarly guitar tones out of this tiny little like 25 watt like hybrid tube solid state head. And I was like, that's amazing. Like, I want that, because it's small and it's nice and it's super simple. But then I always struggled to get a good tone out of it, which kind of really sucked, because it was always like super muddy, or there's always something that I didn't like about it. But I discovered recently that's like, I kind of gotta throw out everything I know about amps, because the way the internet has told me and tried to convince me how amps should work, especially tube amps, is that you should have the gain turned down like quite a bit, and then you should be pushing the volume to get that kind of break up sound, like that classic like plexi kind of sound. And I remember watching so many videos growing up trying to get good like guitar tones and stuff like that, and people just sang that all the time. So that's how I've always looked at amps and tried to make it. But obviously not every amp is the same. That idea of like diming the volume on a tube amp, and then just slowly bringing up the gain, and then maybe boosting it with like overdrive pedal, or even with a boost pedal or something like that, to get that like kind of really crisp, nice, like that plexi tone that everybody like tries to get. For a tube amp, absolutely, but not every amp is the same, and that is definitely the case for this orange head. Because the thing is like, I always try to do that. I tried to have, boost the volume as loud as I can get it, and then have the gain knob, fairly kind of low, maybe at like 11 or 12 o'clock, so I can get a little bit of breakup. But then it's just like, there's just always the issue. It just sounded muddy and like shit. So it's just like, why? And then eventually, after watching so many videos on it, and just like, how are these people getting these amazing tones? Like, they're boosting it with tube screamers, other distortions and overdrives and stuff like that. It's just like, how are they getting these amazing tones and I can't get any at all? And it was super frustrating. But that's why I always had that love-hate relationship, because it's like, it has really good clean sounds and everybody can get good tones out of it, so why the frick can't I? So I was just like, eventually I was like, okay, let's see what happens if I turn the volume down and I boost the gain. And sure enough, that's all I had to do. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know. For all those like tone snobs out there talking about like how you should be dialing in your amps and stuff like that, like, one piece of advice for anybody who's just starting out with music is like, actually experiment. Don't just take every piece of advice that someone has on the internet. I mean, obviously the same can go for me. I could be an idiot, but it's just like that story there just goes to show it's like you just need to dick with shit yourself to figure out what actually works, you know. And another big part about getting, the tone that you want and you're looking for also comes from you as a player. You got to be able to, hold your own and to know exactly what you're looking for a tone. Because, if you're just like looking after this like super high gain tone, then it's like, yeah, you know what? Try it out and then try recording yourself. Hear it back, instead of just like playing it. Like, I think recording yourself, even if you're not gonna do like a full, like, full song or something like that, but I think recording yourself play really teaches you a lot about yourself. It teaches you about how your guitar tone sounds. It teaches you about how to stack, like layering stuff, and it also shows you just like, okay, so my rhythms are super tight, but then once I jump into solos, like I'm slowing down, speeding up, and you can pick up on those little things, or even the opposite. It's like, okay, my leads are super tight, but my rhythm is lacking, and then that way there you can evaluate what you can be doing. And I think there's a lot of really good benefits of just recording yourself play. And then even that too, it's like if you are just noodling around on your guitar, practicing scales or whatever, like, yeah, maybe you don't need to record every single time, but like, if you're feeling upbeat and in a good mood, if you press record and you're practicing that, and then you by chance happen to come out with a really cool riff or something, or a song idea, then it's like, now that's recorded. You don't have to go back and like pull out and fumble with your phone and stuff like that. You just have it there. You have it recorded already. You can just be like, I want to hear that back, and then play over it and develop it, which isn't something that I do very often as well. So I mean, maybe I'm kind of a hypocrite for saying that, but at the same time, it's like there's been many times in my life where it's like, luckily for me, with the setup that I have, like in my apartment building, I mean, my computer is nearly almost on like the entire time that I'm playing guitar most of the time now anyways. So like for me, isn't that much to just move my mouse over and like click on Studio One to open up a thing and then play with the riff a few times. Because like whenever I do come up with new riffs and stuff like that, for me it's super easy because it's just like, oh, that's cool, let me do that like 5 or 10 times over and over and over again, so I don't forget it, and then I can boot up Studio One, record the idea really quickly, or like even find the metronome, practice that for a few times with the metronome, and then record it, and then now I just have that idea recorded and saved on my computer. And that's another thing that would be a really really good idea in my opinion, is to get like a hard drive, even just like a cheap one, even just like a USB stick, where you just like call it the riff pile or riff USB or something like that, where it's just loaded up with like guitar ideas or even like solo ideas or like harmony bits. I definitely think that would be useful for a lot of people, so I definitely would highly recommend that. But holy shit, I really trailed off there. Yeah, so anyways, I talked about my Marshall, pairing that up with my Electro Harmonics Soul Food Overdrive, and then which by the way, I love that pedal. I kind of want to do a review on it, and I probably will at some point. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And then the PV, pair that up with the Tube Screamer, and then that's why I wanted to get this third last overdrive pedal, because I don't have any other overdrives other than those two. I got the Electro Harmonics Big Muff, but not a super huge fuzz fan. I need to be able to play with fuzz more. I don't I don't know. I just haven't been, you know, able to play with one that much. I mean, obviously, I can just pick it up and play with it whenever I want, but I don't know. Again, like I said in the beginning, I've just been lacking motivation right now, and right now I just kind of want to have those creative thoughts, which again, playing with new stuff always opens up new doors for ideas and stuff. But yeah, anyways, but that's why I wanted to get that last overdrive so I can have like an overdrive set exactly the way I want it for each of my amps, and then have my amps set up exactly the way I want it. I just hit the microphone, and then yeah, and then I could just set it and forget it, and then I can record my parts with those amps with their matching cabinets and their matching overdrives and everything like that. So it's just have to plug in, play, sort of thing. Is kind of was the whole idea with getting this extra overdrive pedal. And plus, I mean, I do like the OCD pedal quite a bit, and yeah, so it's just a smaller clone of it. And yeah, I mean, who knows? If I love it that much, I might even do a review on that pedal as well. So, and yeah, and then pair that up with my orange. So, yeah, um, cool. That's all I really. I guess I kind of talked about that shit for a while. But yeah, and then the only other thing that I have to do with that is I have to pair up which guitars that I want to play with those amps. Because I mean, I like to switch out the guitars too. I mean, I'm thinking for this album, because I love the sound of my Jackson Kelly right now with those Epiphone Pro Buckers in it. That might be definitely handed out to one of the with the amps for a set kind of sound, probably with my PV, because I really do love the sound of that guitar with my PV quite a bit. And then I might do my, I don't know, obviously it's all hypothetical right now because I gotta actually shoot them out, but between all my guitars. But then yeah, and then after that I'll have to find like a amp to do all the lead stuff with and the lead tones. So, and then find a few guitars to do that, because I like to swap guitars in and out, especially if there is harmony parts. It's kind of cool to have one guitar do like the main part, and then have another guitar with the same kind of amp sounds, but with the different pickups and the different woods, to do yeah, just another part where, so it's just not like the exact same frequencies kind of doing that. But that's all just nerdy recording garbage. So yeah, so it's 23 minutes into this episode, and I would love to do a massive shout out to a UK based thrash metal band named RipTide. They have a brand new single out today, March 12th, named Inhuman Race. So please go give those guys your love and support by checking out their band and checking out their new single. I actually have for this week's music recommendation on top of Inhuman Race, which you should absolutely go check out. I would also love for you guys to go check out their other song, Fatal Retribution, because their band actually only has 4 singles out thus far. They have one from dating back to how long ago, actually? Yeah, let me see. I have it all on my iTunes. I'm going to just pop that open real quick. So 2016 was their very first single out, called Behind the Killer's Eyes, which, once again, you should definitely go check that out. You should go check out all this stuff. Just go check out RipTide. These guys are really, really cool, and they seem like really cool dudes. Go check out their YouTube channel as well, because I think it's their bassist. I'm not too sure what his name is, unfortunately, but definitely go check out the YouTube channel, because their bassist has like a little cooking segment on their channel, and he's really, really funny. It made me laugh a bunch. But yeah, so go check out Behind the Killer's Eyes, their very first single from 2016. Their next single was out in 2018 called Masters of the Apocalypse, which you can definitely go check out too. And then last year they released 2 singles. They released Smoke and Fatal Retribution, which I already had mentioned. But I mean, so far out of these songs, and unfortunately, at the moment that I'm recording this, I actually haven't heard Inhuman Race yet, but you better believe that whenever it is the 12th, I'm going to download that and give that a listen, because I've been super into these guys ever since Adam Smith, the vocalist and guitar player for this band, reached out to me. Super humble, cool dudes. But yeah, go check out Fatal Retribution, one of my favorite songs from them so far. And then I'm really, really pumped up to hear Inhuman Race, and you guys should be too. So please, by all means, go check that out, give them support. And yeah, and I'm not being paid to say this, so it's not really like a paid promotion or anything like that. I am doing it out of the bottom of my heart because I understand what it's like to be a musician, and I really, really just want to help out any way I can, because I mean, that's what we as musicians should be doing. We should all be working together to help support each other, and this is exactly why I'm giving this shout out and giving them a good name, because I mean, also because they are just good dudes and write good music. So but yeah, please go check them out. That's RipTide, RIP capital TIDE. They're on iTunes, they're on Spotify. I'm pretty sure they have all the streaming services out there. But yeah, please go give those guys a listen. And yeah, that would mean a lot to me, and I'm sure it would mean a lot to them. So anyways, everybody, oh yeah, links to their stuff will be in the description as well. I should probably mention that. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today, everybody. So thank you so much for listening / watching. It, as always, it means the world to me. It really, really does. Yeah. And sorry, I mean, these episodes are like barely reaching 30 minutes. I don't think this one even will be 30 minutes. Right now it's 27 minutes. But I'm only able to think of so much interesting things to say. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, I hope everybody has themselves a good day or a good night or wherever you're watching this. And if you listen to this to fall asleep, well, I mean, sleep well. Yeah, hopefully the outro doesn't wake you up if if you are asleep watching this. Anyways, everybody, again, I will see you in the next episode, and or if I get my shit together and actually put out a video that isn't just the podcast, then so be it. Then I also put out that, then that'd be also great if you check that out, if I do that. So I mean, hopefully I did. I had something planned for this week, and then again just lacked motivation and time, and yeah, just kind of was being a lazy, tired piece of shit. So anyways, I'm just rambling now, so I'm gonna cut it here. I'm gonna end it right now. I'm just gonna keep talking, and then this intro is just gonna fade in, or it's just gonna cut me off, and then it's just gonna